Today we're talking about ICAO Annex 16 without hesitation, repetition, or deviation starting now. Annex 16 of the International Civil Aviation Organization focuses on environmental protection and is divided into 4 volumes addressing aircraft noise, emissions, and the Global Initiative for Reducing Carbon Emissions in Aviation. The Annex sets international standards and recommended practices for addressing the environmental impact of aviation, which is a significant focus for the industry due to its contribution to noise pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. One of the first environmental concerns ICAO addressed was aircraft noise around airports. Noise, often described as unwanted sound, is considered an environmental pollutant. The impact of aircraft noise goes beyond being a simple nuisance, and it has been linked to various health issues in nearby communities. Prolonged exposure to aircraft noise has been associated with sleep disturbances, increased cardiovascular diseases, and learning and memory impairments, particularly among children. The widespread concern over noise pollution led to the London Noise Conference in 1966, which set the foundation for ICAO's work on aircraft noise abatement. This initiative culminated in Volume 1 of Annex 16, which defines maximum noise limits for different aircraft types. ICAO employs 4 strategies to manage noise. Number 1, reducing noise at the source by encouraging quieter aircraft designs. Number 2, improving land use planning around airports. Number 3, implementing operational procedures to minimize noise. And lastly, setting operating restrictions. Modern aircraft are about 75% quieter than the first jets that entered service, thanks to advancements in engine technology and airframe design. The second major environmental issue ICAO tackles is aircraft emissions, covered in Volumes 2 and 3 of Annex 16. Volume 2 includes SARPs related to aircraft engine emission certification, while Volume 3 focuses on CO2 emissions from airplanes. Aviation emissions contribute to atmospheric pollution and global warming. The primary emissions from aircraft engines include carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, water vapors, sulfur oxides, and black carbon. These emissions not only contribute directly to the greenhouse effect but also result in the formation of contrails, which can become long-lasting cirrus clouds, further contributing to radiative forcing and global warming. The challenge for the aviation industry is that aircraft have long lifespans, meaning older, less efficient aircraft remain in operation for decades. However, aircraft and engine manufacturers are constantly innovating to improve fuel efficiency, which helps reduce emissions. Other strategies to cut emissions include developing alternative fuels such as biofuels derived from renewable sources like vegetable oil or algae. Researchers are also exploring synthetic jet fuel made from CO2 and solar energy. Additionally, selective flight levels can reduce the formation of contrails, but this approach presents operational challenges such as increased air traffic controller workload. CORSIA, or Carbon Offsetting and Reduction Scheme for International Aviation, outlined in Volume 4 of Annex 16, is a global market-based measure to address CO2 emissions from international aviation. ICAO adopted CORSIA as part of its goal to achieve carbon-neutral growth from 2020. The scheme is being implemented in phases, beginning with a pilot phase from 2021 to 2023, and the first phase is from 2024 to 2026, which requires voluntary participation by states. From 2027 to 2035, CORSIA participation will be mandatory for all ICAO member states. The primary aim of CORSIA is to stabilize net CO2 emissions at 2020 levels despite the projected growth of air traffic. Airlines are required to gather and submit emissions data to ICAO, and emissions that exceed the 2020 baseline must be offset. This is achieved through emissions units where airlines can invest in projects that reduce emissions in other sectors, such as renewable energy or reforestation, similar to the Clean Development Mechanism under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. CORSIA aims to mitigate the environmental impact of aviation without placing undue economic burdens on the industry. In conclusion, Annex 16 provides a comprehensive framework for reducing aviation's environmental footprint. From tackling aircraft noise and engine emissions to pioneering global carbon offsetting through CORSIA, ICAO continues to push for a greener aviation industry through innovative technology and international cooperation.
If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more aviation content.